the over for him before the season started. Not looking too good for him now, but maybe next year, doggy. Maybe next year. I'll tell you, I like this trade for the Phillies a lot. Luis Avilan's going to help him in the bullpen. That bullpen is good, not great, and he could always use some extra arms come October. So, time for another edition of the Fantasy Frenzy.
On this player.
Eric, we'll start with you, my friend.
Well, I'm actually going to go to fantasy football only because my fantasy draft is right around the corner. I figured out where I am picking. I am picking at number 7. So
how many teams?
There is, I think, 12 or 14, somewhere along those lines.
You know what? I like being in the middle.
So do I, because, it's snakes. So
yeah.
I'm right in the middle with that, too. I don't know which route I'm going to go.
Barkley may be there at 7.
I don't want to be a homer.
That's not a homer.
No, I feel like if I pick Barkley, they're going to be like, you turn into a Giants fan. I'm like, well, he's going to turn out to be one of the best.
I don't care what they think.
That's just a good pick.
As long as he performs.
That is a good pick.
I give you permission to pick Barkley at 7. How about that?
If he's there, I will pick him. But I was honestly considering if I wanted to go running back or wide receiver. I think depending on who goes in the top 5, I'll probably end up going running back. But I don't think there's really a wide receiver I would pick out there at number 7. Maybe Keenan Allen. I don't know.
I wouldn't take Keenan Allen at 7. Take Barkley. Trust me. Nick?
Okay, I'm going to go quarterbacks because lately in fantasy football, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, with the explosion of incredible running backs like Todd Gurley, we all know the names, Ezekiel Elliott, and this year with Saquon Barkley. I'm going to go quarterbacks in the smart round to pick your quarterback in. My estimation is wait till the 3rd or 4th round. This is when you're going to see quarterbacks like Deshaun Watson, off an injury, available. Where you're going to see guys like Jared Goff, who flew under the radar despite an incredible season last year. Will probably be available. I think that's the round you want to be picking your quarterbacks in.
Yeah, so kind of going off what you said, if I'm, a fantasy owner, I wouldn't be picking a quarterback until maybe the later rounds.
You're thinking even later. I still think you need legitimate production out of your quarterback.
The thing is, you guys are focusing on positions at certain rounds. Focus on players. Focus on what players are available. If there are no great running backs or wide receivers available in the first round, and you have a quarterback who you like, take him. It's just that simple.
The problem is, especially for those people who are in PPR leagues, quarterbacks don't catch the ball. And all of my leagues are PPR.
Yeah, I'm not sure what my league is. I joined a Yahoo public league, and I need to check the settings on it. Yeah, I'm in a public league. We're trying to
I've never tried. Have you done this before?
Yeah, I've done public leagues before.
Is it fun? Like, you don't have that kind of,
competition?
To be honest with you, I'm horrible at fantasy football anyway. So I've won. No, I'm not horrible.
I've never won, okay. But I'm not horrible.
I won once.
Have you really? Wow.
Yeah, and I bought myself a trophy. Nice. I really did. So,
is that where all the money went? How much did you win?
I didn't win anything. I just bought myself a trophy.
You went to a store.
Oh, come on.
You went to a store and you said, "Hi, I'm Jacob Valk. I won my fantasy league. I need a trophy."
You know what? That's exactly what I said.
Oh my
I'd like to have a plaque. I wanted to say, "Not the worst."
I'd like to have a statue in Central Park. So I'm going to go to fantasy college football.
That's a thing.
I had my draft yesterday. No one has ever done this before, so I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I'll rattle off the names really fast. Kyler Murray, Gary Jennings Jr., Greg Dortch, Rodney Anderson, Justice Hill, Caleb Wilson, Emmanuel Hall, Jet Toner, and the OSU defense. I don't know if that's good or bad. All I know is I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. It gives me something to root for on Saturdays.
I pick everybody that's from Alabama. That's it.
You know what? I have one guy from Alabama. It's my backup wide receiver. It is Jerry Jeudy. With Calvin Ridley in Atlanta now, Judy's going to have a very big role for the Crimson Tide.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to how that's going to work.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. So, all right, let's take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, because we will have an exclusive interview that Nick Ohrnberger and Kyle Mackay did with the head coach of Nassau Community College's football team, the NCC Lions. We will be broadcasting their game tomorrow. So, you know what? I just went completely out of order here, and the program director sent me a really bad text that I tried to decipher really fast, and I couldn't do it. So this is a great sell.
You got this.
Isn't this fantastic?
You got this. I like football. Tell me more.
All right. Nick Ohrnberger and Kyle Mackay interview. coming up next with the head football coach here at the college, Jamel Ramsey, and two of its stars coming up next on Beyond the Game on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Good God almighty, am I terrible.
Those serving in our military, they're the difference makers. Separated from family, enduring hardships far from home. Sacrificing for their country while serving in a different country. Well, for those of us who support our armed forces through the USO, we get to make a difference too. Through the USO, we get to be the force that delivers the phone call between spouse and deployed service member. The force that brings newborn and new parent together through a delivery room video chat. And the force that makes sure our military serving 7,000 miles away gets to watch the big game from a USO center. We get to be the force behind the forces, connecting them to every comfort of family, home, and country possible. It's a good feeling to make a difference. Visit uso.org/force to learn how you can be the force behind the forces.
Alexa, can you please do my food shopping today?
Food shopping today added to your shopping list.
Alexa, can you do my math homework for me?
I'm not sure.
Alexa, play WHPC.
Play WHPC.
You can now listen to the voice of Nassau Community College on your Amazon Echo.
Simply say, Alexa, play WHPC.
I am already playing WHPC.
Sorry. So go ahead and buy a silicone steamer in the shape of a faceless melting pig.
Buy a silicone steamer in the shape of a faceless melting pig.
Yeah, that exists. And while you shop, play WHPC.
Or buy a headband with a mullet hair attached to it.
I refuse to buy a headband with mullet hair attached to it.
Yeah, that exists too. Not sure why. But when you buy it, you can play WHPC.
So play WHPC on your Amazon device today.
And thanks for listening to 90.3 WHPC.
Hi, I'm Nick Ohrnberger. Sitting alongside me is Kyle Mackay. We're talking to Coach Jamel Ramsey, head coach of the Nassau Lions, Stephen Genova, starting quarterback of Week 1, and Jordan Jones.
Coach, before you took the job last year, in 2016, the Nassau Lions had only one win. You fast forward 1 year, and you and your coaching staff leading the way go to a record of 5-4. What do you make of that incredible turnaround? What do you attribute it to, and what are your expectations for the coming year?
I contribute our turnaround to our culture with our coaching staff, with the players that we have that are a part of the program. They bought into what we were telling them. At the JUCO level, a lot of other schools, they may be individualized, guys trying to get scholarships and so forth. One of the first things that we talk about on day one is playing as a team. And I think that was the big contribution to us having success on the field and also off the field with their classes. Being together, being a family, buying in, and that really is everything. As far as the scheme and the talent, that's always going to be there. We have coaches that understand the game very well, that put together great scheme, and we have talented athletes that can go out there and play each and every game. It's just how to deal with adversity when they're faced with it, being there for one another, playing selfless. Those are all the things that we echo from the top, and our players last year bought into that, and they started to see it when they had some success. And this year, the kids that carried over, they understand what it takes to be successful, and we've had a great 2 weeks of camp, and I really feel that that's going to help us have great success this year.
You mentioned culture. Do you think that there was a change in culture that needed to happen when you got here? Was there any sense of complacency among the team, or was it just these guys were ready to work, they just needed the right push?
No, I think the culture was already changing from the coach that was prior. You know, any good thing, you have to hit bottom before you start to climb up. So when we had a culture change the year before I was here, the culture was changing. Our athletes were being productive on campus. There was really no outside incidents that would carry on. So the culture was starting to move in the right direction. For me to come in and bring my coaches on, we had the same mindset. Our athletic director, Carrie Ann, she was phenomenal. She echoes it from the top of what she wants. And for me to be able to go out there and deliver it and have the kids buy in, I think was a big change. But the culture was starting to shift. It was starting to change. And we just kind of fast forwarded a tad bit. And I hope with the end of this season, we'll see the complete shift, because I think it'll be a magical thing for both the athletes and for the program and the school to really be where it needs to be.
You said you had a great camp. What have you really seen in workouts? Specifically, what impressed you between players? What have you seen?
Again, this is what we talk about. Not so much the result. I don't care about the result. I don't care about guys scoring touchdowns, making tackles. I don't care about that. I care about their approach, their effort. Those two things, if you do those at the highest volume that you can possibly do it, the result will take care of itself. So in the beginning, you started to see those new kids who were coming in off the high school teams not fully understanding or not really believing what we were saying. As we get into this week, which is game week, you started to see the guys not care so much about the mistakes that were made. It's just really, am I going full speed? Am I locking into what my coach is telling me? And am I playing as hard as I possibly can play? And the buzz on the field, the feel and the atmosphere at the practice field is at a high level, and we're getting to where we need to go. This week's a short week. Obviously, we have 2 more days to get ready to go. But as of yesterday, I felt really confident and comfortable going into Saturday.
Do you know what the identity of your team is going to be this year?
We'll see. That's one of those we'll see. My approach on the first game, what I'll tell my guys, everything's about legacy. What legacy you're going to lead. Our identity is going to be defined with how we deal with adversity. We haven't had really too much adversity to face in the first 2 weeks of camp. So we'll see. When the game starts, if we're up by a touchdown or 2, are we going to become complacent? Are we going to allow the door to open back up for the other team to win? Or if we're down, are we going to pack it in and not battle through? So that's going to be the identity, but that won't be defined until we get things rolling.
Coach, we watched a lot of film on the Lions from last year, and one of the things that I've noticed is you guys were running out of a spread offense. Mm-hmm. You're an LIU post guy, an alum, wide receivers coach. Is that system the mindset, or do you dictate how you run your offense on the players and the talent that you already have?
It's a little bit of both. As far as the spread system, it's definitely something that we tailored from LIU Post. Those coaches up there, in my opinion, not that I'm biased because I played there, they have a pretty successful offense. Coach Gill, offensive passing coordinator, and Coach Hughes, the run game coordinator, they do a nice job of piecing it together. The year before I came here, we went undefeated. Offense was clicking on all cylinders, so it made the most sense for me to implement that as best we can here. Obviously, based off the talent that we have, there's some plays that we can run. There'll also be some plays we cannot run if we don't have those pieces. Right. But for the most part, yes, our offense is going to be very close to what you see at LIU Post.
And that'll continue downfield kind of speed and separation, attack the end zone. Interestingly enough, what we've noticed how you guys line up statistically is you had more rushing yards than you had passing yards. Do you give credence to the mobility and versatility of the quarterbacks you had from last year? And what about the quarterback this year? Are you still able to run out of the pocket as much as you were then?
Absolutely. The quarterback this year is one of the most cerebral players I've ever been around. He knows his check rules. He's mobile. He can run. He can pass the ball better than most. He flies underneath the radar. I think a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised on this end and, unfortunately surprised on the opposite end. But he can get it done. We have full confidence in his ability, and, I think he's going to have a really great season.
Awesome. Who is the starting quarterback this year?
This week will be Steven Genova.
Talking to the Week 1 quarterback, Steven Genova of the Nassau Lions. Steven, are you excited for this year? How much preparation has gone into you getting the reins for Week 1? And do you feel the pressure at all of keeping the job, or are you just excited to have the opportunity?
Definitely excited to be playing for first week this season. As far as preparation goes, I think the whole coaching staff as a whole, the offensive coaches did a great job with the game plan, and I feel really comfortable. I think the whole team feels really comfortable, and we're just excited to try to go out and execute.
Coach Ramsey said you fly under the radar a little bit. Does that mean we'll see something deceptive with trick plays? Are you faster than he's letting on, or are you not allowed to say yet?
Whatever the coaches need the team to do and what they need me to do is to get the ball in the end zone. That's what we do. It doesn't really matter to me or the team, I think.
Coach, is this going to be more of a dual quarterback offense, or do you find yourself more comfortable relying on one guy to carry the load this year?
Last year, we had different quarterbacks due to injury, so we had to move some guys around. As far as the other gentleman I assume you're speaking about is Rashard Tucker, he's dynamic. He's going to be electrifying in any position that we put him. We may have some wildcat stuff that we'll throw out there. We may not. But we definitely will get the ball in his hands because what he can do with it, it's electrifying and it's contagious, and it also brings the offense to a different level. As far as the control of the offense as a whole, Genova's job this week is to make sure he understands and he executes the game plan efficiently.
As this is your second year as the head coach, as we stated before, what did you learn from last year that you want to improve on, or something that you saw that really worked for you just as a head coaching point of view?
I mean, every moment's a teaching moment, right? So to give you the short story, I learned a lot about myself as a coach, the importance of really having the kids believe in you, having the kids buy into what you're doing, making sure you're checking on them, not only when the season's in, but also in the off season. At the junior college level, academics are a very, very strong point. point that we drive home. I learned that adjustments, you got to be able to make adjustments. You got to be able to bend a little bit. You got to be able to be reasonable, because when you do those things and the young men really understand that they're human and you're human, the connection that you have with your players is unbelievable. The outcome and the things that happen that follow are magical. So I've learned to be better than I was last year. I try every day.